Hello and welcome to the post-Photoswap discussion. Hopefully by now you would have seen the Photoswap video all about seeing how two different people edit each other's photos. If you haven't seen that, then here's the link for you to go and grab it. If you've watched it and feel like watching us have a conversation about the results and also a bit on our own philosophies and styles, please get comfortable for this extended cut video. I'll sign off here in case you don't feel like watching the whole lot. My name is Andrew. There are only 8 cuts in this upcoming conversation. Bonus points for pointing them out. But thanks for watching.
Right, so that's the Photoswap challenge done.
Finally.
How did you feel it went? That well, huh?
I'm hesitant over it.
Yeah, I am. I'm not overly happy with anything I edited. But then I'm not sure the source photos that we worked with were the sort of thing we want to work with. I think we chose things that were deliberately a little bit challenging.
We tried to be too clever.
Yeah, probably, yeah. We probably realised that we were choosing things we weren't up to. The editing challenge was too great. But still, I think the point stands that it's really interesting to see how the other one does things.
Yeah.
So starting with photo number 1, which was this kind of rugged cliffside. Looking at it straight away, yours is kind of more subdued, which I think suits it. And it's interesting because I thought my browns were a little bit pulled back, but actually compared to yours, they're not. They're quite almost oversaturated.
Yeah.
And I've almost gone too blue with the sky. See, I hate my edit, and a strong word, but I hate my edit compared to yours.
Really? I think I'd go back in. We'd hit a little bit more on the texture slider. The sky, if I was in Photoshop, I would have a clone stamp on the top left corner here.
It's a bit fringy, yeah.
I think if I dropped my sky onto what you've done, then I'd be much happier.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that I went for the rugged look and I ended up with a blue sky, which was not what I was going for at all. But I panicked on that one because I was getting this kind of weird gradient between the blue and the grey on the sky and didn't really have the time to deal with it. I would have liked for the whole thing to have been a little bit more rustic and orangey, dirty, having a blue sky. Looking back now, I'm thinking, why did I do that? In the moment, it felt too predictable to give it an orange or any kind of sky like that. I thought, I'll be different with a bit of blue sky. Yeah. It doesn't work.
I've become a fan of the desaturated, brighter, glowy sky.
Yeah.
I think I've been saying it quite a bit, but I don't know if it's a trend, but I definitely like the feel of it. And not many people are doing it. And I don't know if it's because you can cover up a bad sky, or like when you think of a place, you don't normally remember how the sky was.
The other tempting thing to do is put fake clouds in and stuff like that, but I don't think I would have gone there with this one.
I don't like fake clouds.
No. I also really, now looking at this, I don't like how contrasty the vegetation side of it is, where I've got almost complete black down there.
I'd like to have got halfway between where you were and where I was.
Yeah.
On that front.
Right, this was the worst one I think for me, so let's move on to pitch number 2.
Again, like you said before, we're not saying that one is better than the other.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
And we're definitely not saying that what we're doing is right and everything else is wrong.
Yeah, we should point out the point of this challenge isn't for there to be a winner and a loser. It's purely about different approaches. It's not that one is better than the other.
Yeah.
I was really interested to see how you would tackle the things that I've struggled with.
Yeah.
And it's been really interesting to see how we both compare and how we do different approaches to it.
I don't ever think there's a bad way of editing something.
I don't know, because I felt like there's times when I've edited some of my own photos and I look back and think, what were you doing? It's just completely over-edited.
Yeah, but I think that's just...
Looking at this now though, I feel like this image, number 2 here, that's almost over-edited because that just the blue and the orange is... I struggle with that now because I did that a lot. I used to do that a lot, have those completely contrasting colours. And I just start to feel like, is it realistic? Where yours is very consistent.
It's looking a touch too flat.
That's the funny thing about putting stuff side by side. If I like anything about mine, it's how sharp and clear the twigs and stuff are at the bottom. And I did deliberately kind of, well, we both seem to have like kind of faded out the sky and the sea.
Yeah, which is strange because I think when you're looking at that image to start with, it's the sea that you're noticing.
Is there anything you do differently to that now?
It's tough.
I think I'd start again on mine.
I think I'd be quite drastic. I would crop it vertically and crop it hard over to the right hand side. Somewhere here.
Yeah, because I played around with crop. I put on an Instagram 5x4 crop and was moving it around to try and see what worked. And I almost got close at one point, but I almost feel like the landscape scale of that works.
I think because we've both moved away from the ocean and the rocks, what we've done is we've taken away any sort of subject.
Yeah.
Like the twigs in yours do stand out, but are they?
They're not interesting.
Are they just subject?
I said when I took this picture that it was just a kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
We're walking back to the car. It's pretty dark. Snap something. But I wouldn't have touched this.
But for me, those are the images that make something. You know, the ones that you think are a throwaway, but those sometimes turn out to be the magic.
Yeah, I would never have spent time editing this if you hadn't picked it for this challenge. Photo number 3. You were quite keen on this. This is my photo, and this was several photos stitched together, several long exposures. Because I didn't really have the wide enough angle lens to get this from where we were on the cliff. So I stitched a few together. And it never quite came out as I would have liked. How are you feeling about your edit now?
Like, there's no way of it not sounding arrogant, but I'm bloody mesmerised by it.
It's got like a mystical quality to it, isn't it? I just realised you've gone quite purple on. The last one was quite purpley.
It's going to sound in the wrong sort of way, but there's nothing I'd do to change that. Like if you're going to change it, you start again.
See, I've looked at several edits that I've done of that photo. I'm not happy with any of them.
Maybe darken up the headlands at the back, but if you do that, then you're losing your depth.
That's the thing that I like about that.
Interesting, when we were editing, I think I pointed out that I didn't like my highlights on the rocks here. Now that that's exported,
that's fine.
Yeah, it's not too much, and I thought there was too much glow in this water down here where it hadn't quite foamed up enough. But
I feel like I've overcooked these, where I was trying to bring out the rough water. I feel like I might have overcooked that a little bit, maybe pull that back. But it's quite interesting that yours is quite purpley and mine looks quite green next to each other.
Yeah. Interesting though, I don't normally do it, but with the way I've gone with the glow again, but I've dragged it deep into the water. And even though the water is kind of what you're looking for when you're doing a long exposure, but for some reason losing some of that, I like it more.
The funny thing for me is, even though this is a long exposure, I can't remember how long it is, it doesn't overly look like a long exposure, and I don't know if I like that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a 50-second exposure, and I don't think it looks like that at all.
It does in the foreground, but in the distance, you wouldn't know.
No.
And I think because it is a vertical, then you quickly do lose that. I do like how you've brushed in. I would do that on your white bits.
They just need a bit of tweaking to make them sit.
I do like that. I think in mine, but then in mine, would you have that as a bit of a punch? I'm not sure.
No, I think because yours is quite bright at the top, I think it would only maybe pull away from it.
If you're getting stupidly creative, I'd have a boat silhouette somewhere just between the sun and the left side, just to break it up a bit. Because there's not.
you know what I think annoys me about mine is it looks like someone just slapped an Instagram filter on it.
I don't know. Like, yours shows a lot of care and attention in the lower portion of the water. Like, you could, obviously the quality's not there, but you could isolate that and do that by itself, just this bit of the rocks.
Yeah.
Just bang.
Are you still happy with your edit on that? You seem really over the moon with it to start with. Is that still where you are? Yeah.
For me, to make that anything more, I think you're going to destroy it before you make it better. And I always talk about photos and photography being a connection with something. That for me, I connect instantly with that setting that we were in.
See, because looking at mine, I feel like that doesn't capture the magic of what was going on when we were there.
So that wasn't the day. That wasn't what was happening.
I just think, for me, there's something going on with the colour in mine where it doesn't look entirely natural, and maybe it's in the greenness of it. But I also think there's a reflection when you look back on your own work. I think that reminds me of something that I don't like about my own work that I do when it comes to editing.
It's interesting because I don't know if you'll see in the screen capture, I toyed with something that I've got called Chapelporth Blue and Gold. And that's similar, and that would have done a similar thing, but it would have punched your blue a lot lower, a lot darker. I did kind of like that for a second. My takeaway from this though is I would put a beer on yours being more popular with an average person.
Why? What makes you say that?
I think an average person will look at yours and they'd say, that's a better photo.
Is there anything about it that makes you say that then?
Because it's punchy, you've got a lot of contrast in here, and that's what people go for. Yours looks crisp, whereas mine, they would look at that and go, did they mean to do that? You know? Did they mean to do that?
Yeah. Hey average person, you're my audience, thanks very much.
More people would like what you did.
Maybe.
I think maybe
I know what you're saying.
A small number of people would really like what I did, and a lot of people wouldn't get it.
Go for the mass market. That's the way to success. Right, last one. Image number 4.
I don't like this now. I don't like it so for so.
Interesting. Because this is the one I'm probably happiest with the most, and it's the one I probably did the least with. But again, we've gone from completely different vibes. Yours is back in that purple game again.
I think I used something, one of my presets that does make the sky go from blue to red, normally in a bit more of a dramatic way. But in this one here, it's definitely taken the middle ground purple more than the blue and the red. But again, like I think I was saying when we were editing it, it's one that if I spend enough time looking at it, then I appreciate it more. If you do this, glance at it, you go, oh, move on.
The thing I instantly like about yours that doesn't appear in mine at all is this purpley red, pinky cloud that you've got going on the right hand side. That's nice, but mine is just orange with that whole middle orange part of the sky.
See, the bit that is a bit of a wrestle for me is the foreground. I like what's happened with yours, because it stands out. Whereas in mine, it doesn't stand out until you look at it.
I'm quite happy with that edit for me, because that kind of does represent that golden evening that we were experiencing.
Yeah.
It kind of, that has realistic vibes of, we saw that. I'm not entirely sure on the deep blue of the sky of my own edit, but that's a subtle tweak here and there. It's not offending me massively.
Mine reminds me of a photo that I don't think I have anymore. And it was a photo I took while playing golf on an old Sony Ericsson K800i. And the sky was like that, red at the bottom and then blue. And I think that's probably why I enjoy that sort of style. But yeah.
So if you had to pick out all the photos we just did, which would be your favourite?
3.
3.
Yeah. Without doubt. Without a doubt.
So your favourite is my photo, and my favourite is your photo, because my favourite is number 4.
What have you been taking?
By far, that's my favourite. Edit.
No.
Is there anything you have edited today that you would put on your Instagram?
3 would be there straight away.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you're number 4.
I wouldn't even hesitate for 3.
I'd pop up number 4. I'd look at number 3, but I'd have to do more to it to be happy with it. I feel like that third photo is something I've edited several times and never quite got there. I feel like it's got potential, but I can't quite execute it right to the point where I'm really happy with it. I also feel like the first photo we did, I'd work on that and post it eventually. I would absolutely write off that second photo of mine, number 2. Looking back at photo number 3.
I was thinking one of the tricks that I sometimes use is 2 gradient filters, creating a leading line for you. But I can't do that here because of the rocks, and I wouldn't affect what they're doing for a second. Yeah, I would say that would be one of my most successful photos.
Interesting.
Really, seriously.
So, do you fancy doing this again sometime?
I think we have to. I think for us, I don't know that we've learned a lot ourselves, but I'm wondering if someone else looking at it learns a bit. Because when I first started, you look at a lot of these tutorials and you decide that what you're doing is wrong. And I don't think we can see any more of a difference in approach, especially with this long exposure here.
I think
and none of them are wrong.
No, exactly. That's the thing, is everyone's unique, everyone likes different things. You've got to go in, be happy with what you're producing. And if you like what you're making, don't care what anyone else thinks.
Do you know, I could wake up tomorrow and look at any one of the 8 that we've got collectively, and I'll probably be like, yeah.
Give it a like, double tap,
done.
Scroll.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with number 3 for me, is I feel like there's a good photo in there somewhere, but I'm not happy about it. I think you're right, I could put it out and I think it would do well.
Your version would do more.
I wouldn't be happy with that. And I like what you've done with the glow.
I don't even know where that's come from. Like sometimes you can pinpoint when you've seen a photo and you think, I'm going to use that in my own work. Or you subconsciously do it and then you look back at the original photo and go, that's where it's come from. I don't know where it's come from.
I also wonder whether I am too reliant on presets as a starting point.
Kind of get boxed in. Well, maybe that's what's happened with this one. Because most of my presets are so far apart in what they do. Maybe if you didn't initially reach for a preset, you would have had an easier starting point. Because presets they set you down a road and it's very difficult to move off that path.
Maybe the next photo challenge should be editing photos, no presets.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
And then, by extension, thinking further down the line, I wonder if it would be interesting if we go to a location, we edit one photo and use that as a preset for all of the photos, and see if we can create something that's a bit more of a dynamic preset.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Because I know some people that do that.
Yeah.
They whack that preset on everything. Every single photo.
I've got
same
about 4.
preset.
I've got 4 that I pull from.
Do you?
Partly to try and stay relatively consistent. But
here's a bit of a philosophy. I think sharing your preset that you've created is a larger thing than sharing your photo.
Ooh.
I feel like that's more personal.
So when can we download the Strictly presets?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You can put them out there tomorrow.
No. I'd like there to be some way that someone goes to it, understanding their own style first.
I'm sure a lot of people do though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it should be something that's used for inspiration. I don't think you should ever download a preset pack and just go, that's my boy.
No.
Because then you've lost something. You've lost something, and what you're doing is conforming for the sake of conforming.
Be yourself.
Emulation is great, but everyone will surpass emulation with a bit of time.
Gotta be unique, gotta be yourself. Well, that was us editing photos. Openly. Feeling like we're not good enough.
It's quite a vulnerable thing.
I felt very vulnerable.
And that's about it for the discussion. If any of you made it this far, you get huge bonus points from me. If you liked anything you saw, maybe give it a like. If you want to see something like this again, a subscribe will go a long way. But again, thanks for watching.